What's up, guys? What's going on? It's your boy Slim the Streamer back with a new video. So today we're going to be talking about from switching from console gaming to PC gaming and what I've learned from my years of making mistakes, wasting money, time, and what you can do to avoid all of that. Check it out. So I had before I switched to PC gaming, right? I had the PS4, I had the Xbox, I had the Nintendo 64, I had the PS3, I had all of these gaming devices uh, at one point in time, right? All in one setting, right? So uh, this is before I knew anything about PC gaming. Now, I had a PC a long time ago, like back when I was growing up, right? My dad bought me and my brother a regular standard computer. We didn't really appreciate it at the time. To be honest with you, we just had it like, oh, okay, that's nice. So I remember the game I did had on there. I was playing the original Halo at that point in time, and I thought it was cool. It was Halo, and it was another game that I played that I thought was it was all right, right? I was used to gaming consoles and stuff like that, so I wasn't really hip to PC gaming or anything like that. So what got me into actually getting into PC gaming, I was sitting around in my old apartment. This is a long time ago, and I was just saying to myself because I had the PlayStation on the left side, the Xbox on the left, the Dreamcast and the Nintendo 64. I had all these game systems, the PS3, stacks of games. I mean, stacks of games, right? And I was just sitting there going, man, at that point in time, I was just like, man, I'm not having fun anymore. I I burnt out at that point in time. I felt like I was burnt out because I didn't play these games before. Yeah, Grand Theft Auto was nice and all that stuff, but I felt like I was missing more when it come to really, really getting into diving in that true gaming experience, right? So I was sitting there and I was just like, man, you know what? I'm going to sell all of this and I'm gonna get into PC gaming. Now, I didn't do my research at that point in time. This is why this part is very, very important when I'm gonna get into the video so you won't waste time, money, and a bunch of sleepless nights. Okay, to be honest with you. All right. So I set on the journey to sell my gaming consoles, right? Again, I did not know what I was going to jump into. I didn't have a plan. I wasn't going, okay, well, I'm going to buy this, or I'm going to buy this, or I'm going to get this GPU, I'm going to get this CPU. I had no idea. I just said, my first thing was, I'm just going to sell my consoles, right? So I went off selling my PS4, sold the game. Then I sold my PS3, sold this, sold this, sold this, sold it all, right? Then it was close to it was close to Black Friday, right? It was close to Black Friday, and I saw this deal on this gaming PC, right? This gaming computer. It was like 600 bucks. I never forget it, right? And I said, this is what I want, towards Christmas time, right? So I went out, bought it, paid 600 bucks. If I can remember, guys, because I don't know if I can even remember the actual GPU. It wasn't even a 28. It wasn't even a 2080 because at that point in time, I believe the 2080 GPU was like the 2070 or 2080. I believe at that point in time, that was like the big dog of GPUs, right? Again, I didn't know this, right? At that point in time, the 2080 and the 2080 Ti was the top dog of GPU. Like at that point in time, and now that released back in 2018. So at that point in time, you know, of course, we're a long way from it now. You're like 2080. You got to think, guys, this is 2017, 16, maybe 15. You got to think this is way before that 17, 18. This is 2025 now. So of course, if we're in the 50 series, right? So you're not, today you would look at going, oh my God, a 2060, 2080, who can play anything on that today? That wasn't the case back in 2018. 2080, the 2080 Super was the literally top dog of GPU. That was the highest you can get up. You can ascend up to that point, right? So I didn't even have a 2080 or a 2080 Ti. I had something way extremely lower, right? Because again, my PC at the time was pre-built and it cost around $600. Again, that was a Black Friday discount, so it probably really cost about maybe $800. But I just, I, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. Matter of fact, it was a gaming laptop. That's what it was. It wasn't a PC because I haven't gotten a PC as of yet. It was a gaming laptop. So pardon me for that. It was a gaming laptop that was $600. And I remember I was excited about playing Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I remember Ghost Recon Breakpoint uh came out, and they was really heavily advertising that game during that point in time, right? And so, yeah, and that came out 2019, right? So this is around 2018, 2019 uh, ish, right? Because I remember, like I said, Breakpoint had just came out, and this is my very first gaming PC slash laptop. It was a laptop. It wasn't an actual PC desktop, right? So I was excited. Hell yeah. I'm going to jump in. Got this gaming laptop. I'm fired up. I'm beating my chest. I'm beating my chest. I'm thinking at that point in time, I'm the big dog. I'm thinking at that point in time, I'm the man. I'm thinking at that point in time, I got the ultimate gaming setup that nobody else got. I'm thinking at the time, I'm about to play every single game that's known to man. When I got home, I was wrong. Guys, I really wish I could remember. I do remember it was an i5. It was an i5, but it wasn't a 2080. I know that for a fact. It was an i5 something, but I bought it from Best Buy. Took it home, unwrapped it, downloaded some games. I could not even run Breakpoint. Couldn't run it at all. Man, it was laggy. It was bad. I couldn't run that. I could barely run Grand Theft Auto, right? Couldn't run Breakpoint. And I'm not even talking on ultra settings. I'm talking about just bare getting it to run, right? Couldn't run it at all. And that's when I realized gaming PC is expensive. That's when I realized gaming PC takes time, takes knowledge, discipline, money, sacrifice. When you're jumping into gaming PC gaming, whether it's gaming on a laptop or desktop, you gotta know what you're getting into coming from a gaming console. You gotta understand what you're getting into. At that point in time, I did not know what I was getting myself into. I just thought, hey man, I got $600. Let me go to Best Buy and get the cheapest thing out, right? Wrong. Because I quickly found out that's not what you do when it comes to PC gaming. So at that point in time, I realized I couldn't hardly run anything. It was laggy. It barely did anything. The fans were loud, and I just like, I sold it, right? And I said, okay. I started doing my research. Okay, the top dog at that point was the 2080. Top dog, right? Top dog at that point was the 2080 GPU. I found that out afterwards, right? I found that out about CPU, GPUs, stuff like that. i5, whatever. That's minimum, right? I'm not even going to talk about i3s because no, this is not 2004, all right? So I'm not talking about i3s. I'm talking about i5, i7, and i9s. So the i5 is what I had. That's minimum barrier, even to this day. i5 is minimum. I'm just giving you the truth, guys, because a lot of people, they want to jump. They're curious about gaming PC and jumping into gaming PCs and or PC gaming, and they're looking to they end up buying something that they cannot run long term, right? Yeah, you can probably play Fortnite, of course, Fortnite on, great. Fortnite, maybe Counter Strike 2, right? But if you're talking about the heavy hitters of gaming, right? The heavy hitters, you're going to need something that has a little bit more when it comes to gaming, right? Now, after that situation, I said, you know what? I sold it. And then I end up getting a gaming desktop. I ended up getting a gaming desktop, right? Now at that point in time, one of my brothers gave me actually gave me, I don't know if I paid for it or not, but he might have gave me a 2070, right? He had a 2070, like a spare 2070, right? That 2070 lasted for a good little bit, right? I was able to play certain amount of games. I still wasn't able to play the top tier games, but I was able to play something at a it was on low, right? It was on low at a small 2070-inch gaming monitor, a huge desk at a 2070 GPU. I believe that was still an i5 as well. It wasn't an i7, it was an i5 2070. So I was doing all right at that point in time, right? Again, I still didn't break into that heavy hitter stage, right? One, I didn't have the money. So shout out to my brother. I believe my brother Jonathan gave me that one, right? So he looked out out of 20. He saw me struggling bad, like yo, yeah. All right. So I had the 2070, right? 2070 at that point in time, again, the 2080 and 2080 Ti was the most advanced gaming GPU at that point in time. That was it during that point. Now, the 30 series comes out. Okay. I still have the 2070. So the 30 series system GPUs are now out. I'm still rocking the 2070. Well, guess what? You got newer games coming out, right? You got brand new games that's just dishing out, dishing out, dishing out. Well, you gotta have a decent GPU, a decent CPU to run these type of games, especially to run them at high settings. It's a big difference from running a game barely playing from running a game at very high or maxed out settings. A huge difference. All right. So at this point in time, 30 series is out. I got my 2070. I'm at my brother Travis' house. Shout out to him. I'm talking about my 2070. Yeah, I got the 2070 at the house, and I'm running this, I'm running that. I'm popping my collar. He goes, "Well, I got a 3090." I said, "You got what?" And he's sitting on his couch. He goes, "Yeah, I got the 3090." The hell is a 3090? He goes, he said, the reason why you can't play some of these games or even play them at high settings, he said, because you still got a 2070. He said the 2070 is old as hell. He said, but I can play all these games, Cyberpunk, all these games, Ghost Recon, all these games, Call of Duty, all these games at maxed out settings. I was hurt. I was hurt. I said, man, come on. I said, so now I gotta go out and buy this. He said, no, you ain't gotta buy it. He said, but you gotta understand what the you gotta understand what you're getting into when you get into PC gaming or gaming PC gaming. He said it costs a lot of money. He said he said it costs a lot of money to run these beast of machines to run these type of games, especially at high settings. Because at that point in time, I was trying to run all my games max settings. I kept seeing what everybody else was doing, right? Max settings, high settings, and I was getting frustrated. I'm like, man, I can't run anything. But that's when he told me. He said, man, he said you're going to need a higher GPU. And at that point in time, the 3090 was out. I'm like, well, all right, well, how much the 3090 was? At that point in time, the 3090 was like $3,000. I said, well, damn, I can't afford that. So I had to rock it out with my 2070. Now, other games are coming out. Last of Us. I'm getting pissed off because Last of Us will barely run. All this stuff, Well, no, Last of Us came out later, right? I'm getting ahead of myself. So then I get the 3090. I had a gaming laptop. I went back to a gaming laptop. I got rid of the PC. I ended up selling the gaming desktop, the 2070 gaming desktop, and I ended up buying the 3070. I mean yeah, it wasn't a 3090. It was a 30. What was it? It was a 3060. That's what it was. Yeah. It was a 3060, I believe. I believe I had the 3060. 3060 GPU. Yeah, I had the RTX 3060, the original 3060, right? So now I'm going, yeah, big dogging it. Now my chest is out, right? I'm out here big dogging it, right? I got the 3060 gaming laptop. I'm feeling myself. I'm out here calling people broke. Yeah, y'all broke. I'm doing all this extra stuff, right? Yeah, I'm flexing. My 3060. I come out from Best Buy. Got the gaming laptop in my hand because I said, okay, I ain't got that i5. Well, was it an i5? I think I did. I think I still had an i5. Yeah, I think I still had an i5, but I had a 3060, right? I might have still had an i5, but I had a 3060 at that point. But I said, because at that time, now this is 2021, because 3060 came, the 3060 was out. So I still had an i5, right? Now, listen to what I said earlier. My brother Travis was telling me about the 3090 GPU. So he ain't mentioned nothing about no CPU. My other brother didn't mention nothing about a CPU. They just kept saying the 2080 GPU. All I kept hearing about is GPU, right? So I jumped. I said, all right, well, I can't afford the 3090, but I can barely afford this 3060, so I'm going to get this 3060. Boom. i5 3060, 1 terabyte. I think it was 1 terabyte. Yeah, 1 terabyte, like 8 gigs or something like that. Yeah, I'll flexing, right? Big dogging it. I'm the man at this point, right? I couldn't even run The Last of Us. I couldn't run The Last of Us. I'm pissed at this point, right? I'm like, yo. Now, if you're watching this video still, look at from when I first got my first gaming PC, gaming laptop, whatever, to now. I still can't run nothing. Especially at no high settings or godlike settings. I can't run nothing. And I'm still going, what is going on? And so I'm running The Last of Us, struggling to run the last. I just told you I couldn't even run Breakpoint on my old system, right? Now I can't even run The Last of Us on on this new laptop on the 3060. Again, I think I'm big dogging it. Guess what my brother tells me? Both of my brothers. Oh, you ain't got enough VRAM. What the hell is VRAM? What? What? Now at this point, I'm pissed. I said, man, I should have just stuck with the damn game. I should have stuck with the gaming console. I ain't had to worry about nothing. What what the hell is VRAM? First you tell me I don't got enough GPU power. Then you're telling me I don't got what what is VRAM? And that's when I learned about VRAM. I only had, I believe, I think I had like maybe 8. I don't know if I even had 8 gigs of VRAM. I believe it was 8. It wasn't 12. I knew it wasn't. It wasn't 12. It wasn't 12. I know that for a fact. I had 8 gigs. So he goes, "Yeah, man, you ain't got enough VRAM." Yeah, it was 8 gigs of VRAM. I said, "Man, what is VRAM?" That's when he explained. They start to explain VRAM. So I'm stuck with a gaming laptop at this point because you cannot update VRAM in a gaming laptop. Ding, 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 ding. I figured that out later on after I had spent all most of my money on this gaming laptop. I can't even run The Last of Us because I don't got enough VRAM to run it. And you cannot change VRAM in a gaming laptop. You can't. So guess what? Now I'm stuck with a PC because I this gaming laptop that I could barely run hardly anything on because I don't have enough VRAM. I got 3060 GPU. I still got an i5. I'm thinking I'm the man. I'm out here calling people broke. All this talking all this extra stuff, and I can't even run The Last of Us. Man, at this point, I'm ready to chuck this laptop out the window. I'm ready to go back to PC. I'm ready to go back to getting a PS4 at this point. I was ready to go get a PS4. I was like, man, forget this. This is too much. So I decided to do my research. And I got to learn the behind the scenes when it comes to gaming PC or gaming laptops. When it comes to a gaming laptop specifically, gaming PC, and I found this out. Gaming PC, you can get away with it because you can buy the different type of like specs and stuff. You can build your own gaming PC. Gaming laptops, you either gotta buy the best top tier gaming laptop that is out or nothing. And that's the truth. So right now it's 2025, you got the 5090. You're gonna have to just buy straight up buy a i9 or a Ryzen 9 2 terabyte 2 what 2 terabyte what is it? What it got? 32 gigs of VRAM for the 5090. You gotta buy that type of, and that's about $3,000-$4,000. You got to buy that because when it comes to gaming on a laptop, if you ain't got the top tier spec, you ain't got nothing. Period. So at that point, man, I end up selling that laptop, and I finally end up getting the 3090. Now, I got this 3090, right? Got the 3090. It was a That was an i5. Now that I think about it, my gaming desktop was an i5 3090. My laptop I had before that was a Ryzen 9 with a 3060 GPU, 8 gigs of VRAM. I'm sorry. That's exactly what it was. I just remember. Now, I got an i5 3090 gaming desktop. It's running everything. It's running The Last of Us on high settings. It's running everything because of the VRAM. Of course, the 3090 had 24 gigs of VRAM, so it's running perfectly, right? I ain't got no issue. Now, I didn't like the fact it was an i5. I bought it off of eBay. I thought it was kind of weird. I'm like, all right. So at that point in time, I was just about to just upgrade my CPU and get an i9 put an i9 in it, probably an i9 1200K, because the original one I had was an i5 1200. So I was gonna just switch it out for either i7 1200K or i9 1200K or i9 1200, whatever, and keep a 3090, and I was gonna be a happy guy, right? 40 cities dropped. I sold my 3090 to some dude for like $800. Used that money, and I got the PC that I got now. And the PC I got now is a i7 14700K. I got a 4080 Super. I got 64 gigs of RAM. I got probably like 10 terabytes of storage. A Yeah, probably I think I got like 10 because I bought like extra. So I got like 4, 8. Yeah, I got 10 terabytes of gaming storage, and I still got it to this day. And it's running like a dream. So and I play VR, I play all this other stuff, runs smoothly, no issues, no frame rate issues, no stutters, no drops. 4080 Super has been awesome to me. The i7 14700K has been awesome to me. I haven't had not one issue. And this PC I have is going to run for a long time. Now I know the 50 series is out. Um, you know, I'm not in a rush to get the 50 series. You know, my brother talked about it, and he was saying, "Hey, man, um, there's no point of getting a 50 series unless you're getting a 5090." He said, "Even that is all pretty much full of AI stuff. So the same thing you can do on that kind of, you can do on this, because even though it's still a big jump, right? Obviously, but it's no rush to jump into a 5090 because the 4080 Super is powerful enough to run anything it throws at it, right? So this is longevity. So I know this video has been pretty long, but I want to give you guys my total experience on my journey to gaming, to PC gaming, and the mistakes and stuff you can avoid. And yeah, do your research, take your time, don't be in a rush, save your money, and try if you can to get the best of the best so it can last you for a long time. If I knew these things back then, I would have saved myself a bunch of time and headache and frustration. Thanks for watching. I'm Slim the Streamer. Smash that like button, subscribe button. I will catch you guys later. Peace.